Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drew Grimaldi podcast. We have a very special guest today. We are waiting for him to log in here, but while we are waiting for that, we have some pretty crazy stuff going on in the world out there today. So, we constantly keep talking about the seditious six, okay? The seditious six that told, that basically told the military not to follow orders. And it's crazy, but now they're talking about suing Pete Hegseth. This is crazy, and it's insane, but that's what these people are about. And this right here is Senator Mark Kelly, who is now being investigated.
Put people under oath.
Saying
we
crazy
need to
shit.
get to the bottom of this. Hey, the U.S. military is, the most powerful and effective, military in the world. And we've got to be, precise, and we have to be operating in accordance with U.S. law and international law, always.
Based on what CNN is reporting, what the Washington Post is reporting, do you believe if there was a second strike to eliminate any survivors, that constitutes a war crime?
It seems to. If that is true, if what has been reported is accurate, I've got serious concerns about anybody in that chain of command stepping over a line that they should never step over. We are not Russia. We're not Iraq. We hold ourselves to a very high standard of professionalism. And this is where I'm really troubled about this, is because I have so much respect for people in the United States Navy. I served in the Navy for 25 years, and there is no organization more professional than Navy SEALs. And they should be revered. And that's why I say I hope what I've heard about this strike is not accurate.
You mentioned that you were a captain in the Navy. If you received that order, would you have carried it out?
No. No, and I'm a guy who, I have sunk 2 ships. I've sunk an OSA-2 missile patrol boat in Kuwait Harbor, a Palnakni troop carrier in the Persian Gulf during the first Gulf War. I never, in that situation, questioned whether those strikes were legal. We were given an order to do this. It was a time of war. These were Iraqi ships with Iraqi crew members who posed a
All right, so we officially have our guest here. Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me okay, sir?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. He is the man, the myth.
We'll have public hearings. We'll put people under oath. We need to get to the bottom of that.
So thank you so much for being here. You have quite an awesome resume. So you're in Galilee, Israel right now, huh?
Yes, I am in the Galilee in Israel, 22 minutes away from the Sea of the Galilee, yes.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm a history guy myself, so it's like you talk about history and stuff like that. You're talking about the epicenter of like all sorts of, historical, religious sites and everything like that. So I always thought that was awesome. But Shadi is the founder of the Israeli Christian Aramean Association, the NGO. Sarah, what can you let my viewers know what exactly does your organization do?
Okay, so you said it right. I'm the founder and president of the Israeli Christian Aramean Association. It's a private NGO, non-profit organization, like 501c or 3 something in USA it is called. And we are actually operating to preserve our Aramaic language, identity, and culture as a Christian, native Christian of the land of Israel. the land of Aram, which is what was called before also in this region has Aramaic kingdoms like Aram Damascus, Aram Toba, Aram Naharaim, where Abraham came from, for example. We are here in the Galilee doing this preservation work and revival of Aramaic Jesus language and our culture and identity. That's one. Second, we are helping our people to integrate within the state of Israel, within the state institutions, to defend together the state as it is, as a Jewish democratic state of Israel, because this is the only state that we, as a Christian, native Christians, as Israeli citizens, we enjoy its law of order, we enjoy the freedom, and we enjoy the rules of this country, which is equal rules for all citizens as democratic state. So we are living here safely. We are secured by Israeli IDF security and forces that, we are surrounded by enemies from all over, and these are the guarantee for us to continue live here as a Christian safely, together with Jews and other non-Jewish people in this land of Israel or state of Israel.
Well, I think too, what a great name for, like the Abraham Accords, for example, because you're talking about all the Abrahamic religions, coming together. And I think that's really a beautiful thing. So
we need another accord, by the way. We need the Cedar Accord to build.
yeah,
Cedar Accord is also another accord that can build in historical event that is King Hiram of Tyre and King Solomon for this alliance between the Phoenician Aramaic Syriac people and the Jews or the Israelites in this land. This alliance built in the past the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount, as it is called, it was built by King Solomon with the help of the Syro-Phoenician king of Hiram of Tyre, bringing 7,000 engineers from what we call today Lebanon, and bringing 42,000 employees to help build the Temple Mount. This is what we call the Christian-Jewish alliance in this region, because Lebanon used to be a Christian state. It was built by Christian majority at that time, and unfortunately, it was taken and kidnapped by Islamic Arab groups from the support of Arab League and Syrian regime back then, and now by the Iranians and other radical groups that they prevent Christian and Jewish alliance in this region and from having a peace between Lebanon and Israel. We need this Cedar Accord again.
interesting. So let me ask you this. So it's always brought up to my attention, right, that like in Israel, you will see Muslims, right? But you go into, like, for example, Palestine, you'll never see a Jewish person over in Palestine, for example. They wouldn't be well. Is that something that you think is really true, or is that something that's kind of blown up by like the Western media?
Well, first in Israel, we have 20% of Muslim Arab community. It's 20% of the country. And you have 2% of Christian, native Christian community. And you have 2% of Druze as well. And you can see them living here peacefully within the state of Israel because, as I said, it's a democracy. It's like your country. It's your USA. It's democracy. But if you go to the West Bank, you will not be able to find in the big cities or in the towns a Jewish guy going alone or walking alone by himself in the streets because he will be, slaughtered immediately. That's the difference. The difference between a state that is democracy and a state that, or not state, a regime that called Palestinian Authority that never educated them, his people, for tolerance, for peace, for love. They don't hear these words. They just teach them the hatred curriculum in their education system. And this definitely will not lead to peace. If we want to build peace, we need that this regime that we call it Palestinian Authority be changed. We need to teach those people not us, but maybe Western power or Western countries to come and teach them how to love, how to accept, how to recognize, how to respect other people. This teaching come with democracy for maybe 1, 2 generation. And after that, we will bring those people to the same values that here in Israel we teach. And then peace is possible. But now to come and make peace with people full of hatred, it will make just another failure state, create another failure state. They want to call it Palestine, that it is just one way to destroy the people of Israel, and us, Christian and Jews, will suffer from it.
Hmm. So, um, so with that, right? So you hear a lot in the liberal media, especially in the United States. They're constantly talking about how bad the Palestinian people have it, and they blame it on Israel. Now we know it's not that a lot of these are lies, but like, is there any, like, is most of their suffering caused by? I mean, obviously caused by Hamas, but I just think it's interesting that these people haven't gotten rid of these people yet. What are the chances of actually getting rid of Hamas out of that region, do you think?
Well, for me, Hamas, Drew, is just one face of Islamic jihadi method. So if not Hamas, there is Islamic Jihad. If not Islamic Jihad, we have Jabhat al-Nusra. If not Jabhat al-Nusra, we have Al-Qaeda. If not Al-Qaeda, we have ISIS. They will create something else in the name of Islam and Jihad. So it's only Hamas. It's called today Hamas. So I don't, maybe you can change its name to be like maybe Stone. I don't know. You can call
Right.
it a hat. But they will create another group called something else to continue the Islamic fight, which they claim and they want by it to dominate the entire world, and Israel is included, and it is close to them. It's in the front lines. So Israel is first, and once they finish, they continue. Actually, it's not once; it's in parallel. They already, in the name of Palestinian cause, as they call it, they are invading Europe, they are invading USA streets, they're invading cities in USA in the name of this cause that it is covering and deceiving people. And people feel like, sorry, oh, yes, we need to support, they are poor, but they don't know what's behind this cause. Behind this cause is Islamic agenda to conquer the West and dominate you and your country and your children and Islamize you.
Right. And it's funny too, well, not really funny, but Winston Churchill had a quote back in the day where he talked about how, you have Muslims living, for example, in a Christian country very comfortably, but if the majority ever became Muslim, that you would not have a safe, for Christians or anything like that, like they get from living in our places, But what do you think?
Drew,
Yeah.
Drew, just before in this subject, think about it. Think about it. Why they don't migrate to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, to all these
Egypt.
Arab-rich countries?
Right.
Why? They have money, a lot of money, a lot of rich, institutions, and a lot of money. They buy a lot of things in this world. These immigrants from Africa coming to Europe or USA, or from Middle East, why they don't go to those countries and stay there and immigrate there? Because this is not immigration of work. This is a immigration of jihad.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yep. We're seeing that in the United States a lot too.
Majority of it.
We're seeing states and cities
Yes.
overrun. It's crazy that it's happening here in America, but we're seeing it too. And I agree with you. Yeah, it's an invasion of that culture, right? Because their way of and their culture is so not compatible with Western civilization in so many ways. Like just how they treat women, masking women. Just the way that they treat basically treat women like second class citizens and stuff like that. And it's just crazy that that to watch the left in the United States and them actually like support that kind of stuff. What would your message be to the people here in the United States that see you know, what's going on and say, hey, I don't know if this fight's really for the United States. Like, what would you say to them? Like, hey, this is a fight for everybody, I would say, right? I mean, what do you think?
I will tell you this. I will tell the United States and the people of America, of the United States of America. I grew up here in Israel. I born, raised an Israeli Christian citizen. My ancestry go back to Jesus' time, and before Jesus, we were called Aramaic people. Arameans speaking the Aramaic language, same language of Jesus that he developed from Judaism. That's true, but the Jews spoke our language as Aramaic people. And after becoming Christians, we fought and for 2,000 years to exist in this region. With all the persecution, with all the suffer, we kept testifying for our values, our roots, our identity, and this is actually that's true. We become a minority here because of many mistakes and because of brutal force of Islam. Don't allow this to happen in your country. Don't make your country invaded by this enemy. This enemy want to destroy your culture and dominate you. And it comes in different faces and in different jihadi ways. So please watch out. I speak to you because I love your country. I grew up here, but I studied in USA and I finished my bachelor degree in Las Vegas, Nevada, in international business and finance. I have as a Christian, I actually have many things to share with you and your people, because the Americans are based on Judeo-Christian value. And those values we share here as native Christians too. Please, please preserve and be proud of yourself as American with all the values it is, and anyone who don't want to assimilate and want to invade you in the name of immigration or in the name of different jihadi rights like a Sharia law or other cities being taken by them and want to impose Sharia laws, take them out of the country. Protect themselves now, yourself and your people and your future children now. And for the leftists, I will tell them one word. You don't think you created the world. Don't think you are smart. Don't think you are doing a favor for a poor people. You're not doing favor for poor people. This is a monster, and it's a wolf in the face of sheep, and they will invade you and kill you first as liberals and as leftists. You are the first to suffer from them. They look at you as infidel. It doesn't matter how much you help them. Once they take over, you as liberals and you as leftists will be the first to be slaughtered by them and be actually annihilated by them, because your values are against Islam. And so watch out. Stick with your American society and with American values, that is Judeo-Christian values, and protect it together with the conservatives and unite against this threat.
Well, so so for my listeners out there, so if somebody wanted to donate to your NGO, how would they go about doing that?
They have a website. We have a website called www.aramaic-center.com. And there's a link for donation. You can donate. We have a project for educating the youth, for Aramaic summer camps, for a Christian Jewish program to build leadership for the country, to protect the country and make awareness for the world about our story, so you can learn from it. This is the minimum I can give the Americans and Europeans, to give them the story of Christian and Jews in the land fighting for their existence here. This is the Christians fought for their existence and fighting in Lebanon for their existence, and the Jews here in Israel. We are example for you guys. Learn from this. We did everything good for them before as a Christian. We didn't invade their land. And at the end, they came and annihilate you and submitted Islam by force and convert and many other like different methods. So don't be like fooled by them. They know what exactly they want. And I know Arabic, by the way. I know Aramaic, that's true. I know Arabic too. I read it fluently. I speak it. So I know exactly what they think and how they think. All I can do is to contribute from my knowledge to make awareness to you and help you build a strong America and make America great again. I love this concept. I want you strong country, nation
Well,
for
America
us
loves
as well
Israel
to
too.
protect us. I know we as Christians as well love Israel, and many Jews here love Israel. And please stick strong and be proud of yourself and protect your country. And we together we will protect each other. Israel doing a lot for the US here, and many contributions for the US here in this land and in this region. And if the US would invest this money in like CIA to do this work, they will not be able to do what Israel do, and it will cost Americans much more.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, during the Biden administration, I mean, I just remember it was like Israel was out there fighting the entire world by themselves. It's just like, come on, let's go. You know, it's like it would have been nice to have seen our country at that time do what President Trump has done and stand behind Israel and say, this is never going to happen again, especially something like October 7th. Um, but it's just crazy. You know, they say history never repeats itself, but it often rhymes. And what do you think peace is going to look like going forward? I know you said talking about love is so important that we need to start loving each other. And it comes down to a lot of that re-education because a lot of these, you know, a lot of the Palestinians have been taught to just hate for so long, and we just pray that they can open their eyes and start to learn to love, so that we can push this peace forward. What do you think peace looks like going forward after kind of even like the you know the misfires, or so to say, in the ceasefire that we had?
I want to tell you, in order to encourage peace in this region and a true peace between nations in this region, Middle East, you need first of all to invest on people that are ready to make peace. The people that are ready to make peace are the Lebanese Christians, and Lebanese Christians are ready to make peace with the Jews in Israel, and they want this peace for centuries already. But Arab side is preventing them, and radical Islam is preventing them. Let's help the Christians build the peace with Israel and have a model for peace and beautiful peace between the countries and between maybe changing Lebanon as well regime, because Lebanon in this context is taking over by Islamic radical group called Hezbollah. We need to change the regime. We need to make maybe Mount Lebanon a smaller state and make peace model that can testify for the peace in the Middle East, how beautiful it can be, and encourage others to follow this path. This is the way we can do it. Then the others will learn, oh, yes, let's do similar things also with ourselves, with the Jews. And then maybe we can bring peace between other Arab states and other Arab like citizens of the West Bank, Judea, Samaria, with the Jews in this region. But it won't come by itself. It won't come only if you change their minds and their education system, and it will take 1, 2 generations to bring them there with believing these values. And we, as a very little NGO, are doing so much for building this model. I am now trying to build the first Aramaic town in Galilee. And this Aramaic town will be the first town with preserving Aramaic identity and language of the country as well, and defend it together with other citizens and with the Jews. This model will show others that peace is possible, and will show others that it's worth to have this peaceful model and alliance between nations, and maybe will encourage others to follow, because it's a beautiful model, and no one at the end want to send his son to die for nothing.
Right.
So this is the small contribution that we can do as our as NGO organization, as Aramaic organization.
What countries would you? Are there any other countries that you would like to see join the Abraham Accords?
Well, I would see Lebanon. I would see Syria. I would like to see Iraq too. joining that. And at the end, Iran should have a change regime. And if this happens, we have nothing against Iranian people. I think we can have a peace also with these people. You remind you, until 1979, we had a beautiful peace with these guys before this Islamic jihadi Ayatollah regime.
Do you I forgot my train of thought there, but I had a question. So, what are your thoughts on on what's going on with Christians in Nigeria, for example? You know, is there anything that you think kind of correlates to that, to like the persecution of Christians, for example? You know, like what are your thoughts, and what would you like to see, for example, on the front for like the Christians in, for example, Nigeria?
What I would see, my friend, I'm afraid that the Christians of Nigeria would be left alone like the Christians of Lebanon in the face of this brutal Islam. I'm really fearing this will happen, but I hope the world learned from the experience of the Christians of Lebanon and will not allow Nigerian Christians to die for their sake of being Christians. And they will protect them. Trump administration, he is a great believer, a great powerful man that God gave him this hobby and this opportunity to rule the big United States of America. And they have now the obligation to step in and defend those Christian persecuted people around the world. It's the most persecuted religion, and they can do so by the military force and by other means to crash those Islamic radical groups from different ones. It's easy for them in Nigeria to do it from air. You don't need even boots in the ground. You can just destroy them from air. And they know where are the camps. They know where they are hiding, how they hide through civilian population. They hide civilian population. They are themselves the Boko Haram and those terrorists that come from those civilian population as Muslim civilian population, they call themselves. And then at daytime they are civilians, at night they become terrorists.
Hmm. So okay, so I remember my question that I wanted to ask
like
before.
in Gaza, same thing like in Gaza. So you have a lot to do for the Christian, and now you have the opportunity with this administration.
So you had brought up Syria, that you'd like to see them come in. What are your thoughts? I know they just brought in their new leader, or they had a new person come to power that Trump had over at the White House. There was a lot of controversy around that because they said that he's like a terrorist, a former terrorist, and all of that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he is a former terrorist. This is a fact.
Right.
Okay, no one can. The fact he is not denying it. He was in Al Qaeda. He was doing what he was doing, and now he is actually. I think we can, in order to believe this guy, he need to prove that he is the right leader, and Syria should be actually respecting its minorities and its other groups and diversity, because there's in Syria, to remind you, it was Aramaic Christian people. It was actually they are the natives of this land. This land spoke Aramaic. It was called the land of Aram, and today in this land you have a Druze community. You have a Christian indigenous community, you have Alawites, you have Sunnis, and you have Kurds. And the Kurds are not originated from there, by the way, but let's say they are now exist. It's the same, sorry, it's the same like Arabs, that they didn't exist here and now they exist. They came, they invaded from the north, the Kurds, and the Arabs invaded from the south. They are like people who exist in the region now. There's nothing like to do with it, and you need to accept it. So this regime must respect the minorities and their rights, and there, I think, should be a federal state in Syria, not ruled by central system, but central government, but like a federal system, like it's in Switzerland or like it is in UAE, where every minority can rule itself and have their own geographical federal or canton, under the federal regime in Damascus. This is what should happen in Syria. And once it happens, minorities will be quiet, will be respected. The majority of Sunnis will have their own rule and will be quiet and respected and satisfied, and peace will come. And the same thing for Lebanon. It should have a federal system and cantons where the Christian in Mount Lebanon can have their own federal system and culture and the civilization and Aramaic language being revived and culture of their own being preserved without having the risk of dragging them into wars that doesn't belong to them. And the Shia, they can have their own federal canton, as they have already, by the way. Hezbollah is a power. They build economy, they build the social activity, they build the institutions, and these people can actually they already have their own canton, and the Sunnis have their own, and all this can like function under a federal central government in Beirut. This is what should happen for a country or geographical area with different minorities or ethnicities or religious groups. Same thing like in the West is happening in different countries, like United States of America. What is united? United of what? It's not one country. It has different states.
Religion.
Every state has its own rules, sometimes different rules. I was in Vegas, for example. The rules in Vegas were different from California. When we moved to California, for example, you have a different rules from Iowa or from from Colorado or from Utah, or so that's why it is working for you guys in the US and in Germany and in Switzerland and in Belgium. You have the Flemish and you have the French, and in other countries in the Middle East like UAE, United Arab Emirates, it has 7 emirates. So it works with them and it works in Europe. But why you don't want to do this same system in Lebanon and Syria and make it function country and have peace with Israel? That's what you would have, and disarm all the militias from it.
Right. Well, I appreciate you coming on today. Thank you so much for your time. God bless everything you do. And I'm going to share your link so people can go donate to your organization on my social media. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. God bless you, and wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year for you and all Americans. We love you so much, and we care for you, and that's why we are talking. We are talking from experience. I am expressing my thoughts in all many lectures in different places in Europe and in USA, and I'm speaking tours in every place they invite me, for making this awareness from experience of 2,000 years as native Christian in this land. So God bless you. Merry Christmas and Happy
Merry
New
Christmas.
Year.
Happy New Year to you too. 2026 is going to be a great year. So thanks again for coming
I
on.
hope so. We pray for that.
Amen.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
So that was a good conversation. I thought that was really interesting. He answered a lot of questions that I had that just about stuff that you hear, because you're always hearing stuff from like the liberal media, and a lot of it's not always true. So, like we talked about the seditious six, kind of started that one. So Mark Kelly wants to say that Donald Trump, what he's doing is illegal, and that he wants to put him in jail. Now, this next one here is Mark Kelly again saying even crazier shit. But I mean, like, these people just don't learn their lesson. They just don't seem to figure it out.
Secretary say that they're going to pause immigration from third world countries. I mean, I take that as a message that they don't want brown people coming to the United States, and I find that disturbing. We are a country that has always welcomed individuals that are struggling, that are fleeing famine and violence. And it would be a fundamental change to the fabric of our nation to change that. When I heard the secretary...
I mean, this guy is such a fraud. It's just crazy. Like, he is using his title, right, to say, I was a Navy commander. But the fact of the matter is that he's kind of like John Kerry. Yeah, you served, but your ideas are the most un-American, anti-American thought process ever. And it seems like what the Democrats want to do is to completely destroy Western civilization and the conservative values that have made America great for 250 years. But to say that it's racist, Thomas Jefferson had a boat out, and some of his men were captured by some Muslims. And he went to them and he said, "Why do you do this? We have no quarrel with you. We have no business with you. Why do you do these things?" And he goes, "Because," and the Muslim said to him, "Because we can, because you are less than us." Thomas Jefferson put a bunch of boats together and it conquered them. That is the way that needs to be handled with that. And we're seeing a lot too with the Somali fraud scheme. Well, Governor Tim Walz is in a whole lot of shit because it turns out, and it looks like he was pretty much associated with the whole fraud scheme. And there's a lot of government politicians in Minnesota that are doing that. And now he's coming out and saying, well, it's just racist that Donald Trump is saying this. So Donald Trump said what everybody was thinking about Tim Walz and said the quiet part out loud, that he's retarded. And I think he's true. Check this one out.
You mentioned Tim Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find an offensive word, retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure.
You don't think that?
You have a problem with him? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into a state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Wall.
Oh, give it to me. Give me my moment.
He could be the weirdest human being out there. And he's a weirdo, that's for sure. But the fact of the matter is this, right? Is that apparently the Kamala Harris campaign knew of this scandal, doing their research before accusing him to be the vice president for the Democrat Party for 2024, which they got killed. But it's just crazy. The scandal just keeps building, and the Somali community in Minnesota has stolen billions of dollars, if not more, from American U.S. taxpayers. And all the Democrats can say is, "Oh, this is just Trump going after this, after his racist tropes after the Somali community." Like, no, these people and she needs to get out of our country. This
is targeting you as much as she is.
It's an easy clickbait. There is a lot of hate in this country for Muslims. There's a lot of hate in this country for black people, especially black women. And there is a lot of hate, severe hate, for immigrants. And so I fit them all. She knows that she can easily raise money and get support for her bigotry from her bigoted, the bigoted people who want to give money to her campaign. But the reality is, in this country, the First Amendment does not only protect speech, it protects the right and liberty for anybody to practice their faith. I do practice the Muslim faith. I am an immigrant. I am proud of both of those things. And I was, of course, born in Somalia, which the president likes to mention. And I'm also proud of my Somali heritage, and that is not something that they can take away from me. And I just want to say, one thing that the president should understand is that you can't impeach a sitting member of Congress. And it is
Yeah, he called for your
unfortunate
impeachment.
that the members of Congress have not educated their uneducated president about how things work in Congress.
Like, who keeps voting for these people? And I'll tell you who. It's her Somali community that has hijacked Minnesota. Ilhan Omar said that Somalis are the backbone of America. So I have never heard anybody look at America and go, wow, what a rich culture of Somali tradition. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, lady? But she talks about immigration, how she's an immigrant and all that. She married her brother and defrauded the American system to bring her brother here. These people will lie about everything. And here's another one for you of the crazies. But I mean, this is not coherent with Western civilization at all. Check this out.
With Aisha, he saved her, and he married her when she was 6 years old, and he lived with her. When she reached the 9 years old.
And then he had sex with her
After that.
When she ready.
Yeah.
When she ready, she menstruated at 9 and then he had sex. When she ready, and they know that she is ready, they have the physical relation.
May I ask a question? Why do you consider that as pedophilia?
I think that a 9-year-old is still a child, so I consider having sex with a 9-year-old to be pedophilia.
But it has already passed that stage. It's not. She became an adult. She finished the stage and the new stage. With it, it is considered as an adult. She's physically grown. She has the ability to bear. Like if she gets married, she can get pregnant.
This is actually Muhammad.
These people are fucking sick. Leave the kids alone. They got it hard enough with the crazy liberal media trying to destroy everything good and moral about the younger generations. The Democrats hate America. They hate freedom. And when they start losing, the Democrats always put together a hoax. And their newest hoax is over the Trump MRI. People get MRIs all the time. The man gulps still. I mean, he could have gotten an MRI because his knee hurt. But, I mean, they're just obsessed. What's the MRI about? What's the MRI about? And, this is what Trump had to say to his people that just kept bringing up this hoax. Like, shut up. And actually, it looks like that video is no longer available, so we're moving on. So, speaking of the January 6th pipe bomb, on January 6th, somebody planted a pipe bomb near the DNC and the RNC, and that's always been subject to conspiracy over the years because we swear it was an inside job, that somebody probably planted that was a Democrat, and then the Democrats after January 6th tried to make it sound like the pipe bombers were some crazy Trump supporter, when in all reality, the January 6th pipe bomber was a black man named Brian Cole. This is what CNN's Jake Tapper had to say about this in the craziest exchange I've ever seen on TV, because it's just so ridiculous. Watch this.
Attack. Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction by means of explosion. CNN observed local and federal law enforcement outside his home in Woodbridge, Virginia this morning. Capitol attack. Brian.
Like, what? What are you talking about, white? I guess it didn't fit his narrative, so he had to kind of just shoot off the hip, so to say. shoot from the hip. So you have a lot of businesses out there that are struggling to get by right now. And you got a lot of these liberals that like to work as baristas at Starbucks. And the whole chain has just grown to be quite unbearable because of all their liberal bullshit, placating to just freaks, literally freaks. And the fact of the matter is that these smaller businesses, like if you're a barista, what the fuck are you unionizing for? Like, I get if you're a construction worker, a police officer, a teacher, but what the hell is a Starbucks worker have to fight for? Oh, I need less hours. I need more pay. Like, get a fucking different job. You're a barista. So Pocahontas here.
You usually go to Starbucks? Don't.
Pocahontas.
Starbucks workers are on strike. That's right. Workers across the country are fighting for Starbucks to stop union busting and to settle a fair contract. That'll mean higher wages, better conditions, and a strong union that looks out for workers. We've got to have their backs. So say it with me. No contract, no coffee. If you usually...
No contract, no coffee. Fine. I'll go to fucking Tim Hortons. So I just saw this today, okay? So we, and I had to add this to the show because it's so important that it needs to get out there, okay? ActBlue was one of the reasons Gretchen Whitmer won so easily in the midterms in 2022. And a lot of that money, one came from Sam Bankman-Fried, who's now in jail, but a lot of it came from ActBlue. And what ActBlue is doing is they take in these foreign donations and essentially they pretend like, and they give these small donations through other people's names in small amounts where it won't trigger anything. Now, there was so much money donated to Jocelyn Benson's campaign, Gretchen Whitmer, all this stuff that everybody in the state of Michigan was like, how is she even raising money? Like, everybody hates her after COVID. Well, this guy right here did all the canvassing that was needed for this. And this one's interesting, okay? This is a very interesting video, but it tells you how corrupt the Democrats are and why ActBlue needs to be done away with. Check this one out.
We're checking to make sure your identity wasn't stolen. It says that you've donated $82,000 to political campaigns. Would that be?
What political campaign?
10 times Benson for governor.
Benson for governor?
Yeah, 10 times at the end of every month.
Well, I may have donated $2.50, but that would be about it.
One time? How do they got you $82,000 over 2 decades? That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that is a lot of money.
You didn't do that?
I don't think it was me, to be truthful about it. Let me put it like this. I will admit I donated $2.50.
What about the other $82,000?
The hell with the other $82,000. What I do is, like, I may donate $5 or $10, but that's all that, I'm donating $5 or $10.
Who do you like for governor?
Well, now?
Yeah.
No idea.
No idea just yet.
I'm not.
And yet we're donating every month to Benson. What they might be doing is taking your name and taking a big pot of money and then using your name to spread it in to make it look legal when it probably isn't.
Okay, who are you?
My name's Charlie LaDuff of the Michigan Enjoyer. I'm a reporter.
I've never heard of the Michigan Enjoyer.
Oh, that's a beautiful day.
But that's the type of shit, and it's happening right now in the state of Michigan. It's crazy that the Democrats are still getting away with this. We wanted mass arrests, President Trump. We wanted mass arrests of these criminals. But I digress. I have found a new holiday favorite. It's one of my new favorite things to listen to during the holidays. These are absolutely awesome. This is what I will leave you with here today because this is just that awesome. Check it out.
Just hear those sleeping Ring-a-ling-a-ring-a-ting-a-ting-a-ling-a-too. Ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ding-dong-a-ding. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with a Jew.
Don't care what you say, it's a banger. It's a banger. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time that we have today. The Michigan State game is starting here shortly against Duke. Go Green. And God bless every single one of you out there. Keep fighting the good fight. We know things aren't always easy all the time. And just remember that the devil makes things easy for those that he knows are already his. So your struggle every single day, just remember that keep your eye on God, keep your eye on Jesus, keep doing the right thing, and America is going to be so great that we are just going to keep winning and winning. So God bless every single one of you. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Saturday at 11. Thanks so much.